What's going on, you guys? Desmond Dennis back here with another tutorial. So this time I want to talk to you guys about lead vocals. I already did a video about lead vocals, but it's 2020, so I've done some changes in terms of like the effects that I'm using nowadays, and I just want to share a little bit of that with you guys because I am super satisfied with how my lead vocals are sounding now. So I just did a cover of Don't Start Now. This song has been blowing up on TikTok, so you probably already heard it, but I did an R&B version of it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and play, I'll play a little bit of it.
If you don't wanna see me talking to somebody, if you wanna believe that anything comes out me.
All right, cool. So yes, I produced this beat. So let's just hop right into it, all right? I'm gonna show y'all what I got going on here. And it looks like a lot, but it really isn't. So for starters, I have a gate. And it's literally just cleaning up some of that dead end space that you see right around here. Sometimes I like to go ahead and manually clean up some of the spaces in here, but just having a gate on there, it just makes your life a little bit easier because it does it for you. I'm just shooting myself right now because like I should have been using this for so long, because what this plugin does is something that I've been looking for a compressor to do. And basically what this does, it just evens out the vocal. So you always hear engineers doing a lot of automation even while using compressors at the same time. It's really called vocal writing. And what vocal writing does is just even out some of the words. So if you look here in the waveforms, some of these waves are just a little bit bigger than the other. Like whatever I was singing, yeah, that body, I was singing a little bit stronger, so that word is louder. So typically what any engineer would do is they'll go to volume and they'll go in here and just like bring that down. But instead of doing that, because as you can see, it can get really tedious, doing this for every word, and then it's really not that bad, but this plugin does it for you. So it doesn't change the sound of it like what a compressor would do, because with compressors you have different attacks and release times that just changes the dynamics of the song, of the vocal track. But what this plugin does, it literally emulates what you would do if you were vocal writing. So for instance, if I were to come over here to that body phrase where we know it's louder, you're going to see that knob or this fader right here come down. Watch.
Talking to somebody.
You see how it just smacks down? So next I have a De-Esser, and this De-Esser I really love because it's just so transparent. It's by this company. How do you say that? I don't know how to say that word. But this plugin is right here. Look it up. And it's so good because you can add a boost of just like air to your vocal while de-essing it, because ultimately when you're de-essing a vocal track, sometimes it takes out some of that air that we all love in our vocal tracks. So you can add it simultaneously, and that's what makes this De-Esser so much better than the others. So like I've never seen any De-Esser with that feature, so that alone just makes it that much better. If you don't know, a De-Esser just cleans up some of the S's and the T's that can be a little bit harsh on our ears or the listener's ears. After that, I have auto-tune. We all know what auto-tune does. For this song, I sort of wanted it to be a little bit less transparent. I wanted you to be able to hear it. So I have the retune speed at 11, which is, a lot of auto-tune, for me. I usually keep it around like 30, but auto-tune's just cleaning up some of the notes. And after that, I have a little bit of subtractive EQing going on just to clean up the vocal track. Because what I like to do is take away before I start adding. What I love about this EQ is it's also a dynamic EQ as well. So although it looks like I'm taking this frequency out a lot, that frequency is just so harsh. I hate that frequency. So I'm taking that out. But what I've learned, instead of just taking out frequencies, that can really alter how the overall vocal track sounds. So instead of taking it out completely, I have a dynamic EQ, which is going to it keeps that frequency in there a little bit, but once it crosses a certain threshold, that's when it takes it down. That way I'm not completely altering how the vocal track sounds. And it's the same thing with over here. This frequency around anything between the 200 to 300 or 400 range is like where a lot of the muddiness lives in the vocal tracks. So I have that coming down a lot, but like I said, it's a dynamic EQ. So that means once it crosses a certain threshold, that's when it brings it down. So it keeps that vocal track sounding natural. So yeah, now since we have all of the frequencies and pretty much the vocal track cleaned up, now we can start having fun with it. So after that, I have the UAD 1176 plugin, and don't get me wrong, Waves has all of these plugins. I have an Apollo interface, so it came with all UAD plugins, and I used to use the 1176 by Waves, and it sounds pretty much the same. So if you have that, you can apply these same settings and you'll get the same results. But anyways, I'm using the 1176 just to knock down some of those peaks. The 1176 isn't doing that much.
If you don't wanna see me
it's just knocking some down those peaks. Just to, clean it up.
If you wanna believe that anything could stop me.
So it's really not even passing, negative 2 dB. And the way I have it set up is I have a fast release, so it's just kissing it. The attack of the compressor is a little bit slower, so it takes time to hit it, and then once it hits it, it lets go. So it's just like a peak, just knocking it down. So after that, I have my final EQ. And on this EQ, this is where I like to add the brightness. And the Pultec EQ is like one of the best equalizers to just add that shine, that sheen to your vocals. And I actually learned this from Chris Brown's engineer. Shout out to Pat, man, he's dope. And he taught me this. He was like, yo, like this EQ, if you want to add that air, just try this out. And I used to try so many different plugins to get this sound, and I was like, wow, this one plugin does it. So you can either set this frequency right here to either 10 or 12, and I like the 12 band. It sounds really good, and basically right here you can just have fun with it. So watch.
If you don't
if I turn this off,
me talking to somebody,
you can hear that it's just a little dull.
If you wanna,
but when you turn it on,
if you don't wanna see me,
that air just comes back. As well as I just wanted to get rid of some of the low end, that body in the vocal. Sometimes I like it, but sometimes I don't, and it's so easy to do it here. So on this side where it says low frequency, I have it to 100, and you can actually subtract a frequency. And then after that, this is where I have my final compressor, and y'all can guess it, the LA2A. So this is also made by UAD, and man, this is where I have a lot more of the work being done at.
If you don't wanna see,
I like to try to keep it, between -5 and -3, just because you can never really go wrong with this compressor. I actually have a hardware LA2A that I actually record through. on the way in. So my vocals are already being tracked with compression, but it's very light because, you know, once you record it with the compressor, there's no taking it off. So I just have it, you know, just kissing the my hardware LA2A. But when I get to mixing, that's where I can push it.
If you don't wanna see me talking to somebody.
So like you can hear that it just evens out the track and make it sit in the mix. I'm going to teach y'all one more thing. So I have this lead track going to a lead bus down here. And this is the secret. The best plugin that I found ever is this plugin right here. This plugin is called Track Spacer. And basically what it does is if you throw this on your lead track, well, no, you would actually put this track on either your instrumental bus, or if you're working with like a 2-track instrumental, you'll put the Track Spacer on that track. And then you'll take your lead track and send it. You'll have like, so you'll sidechain it. So I have it being sidechained to the Track Spacer, which is this plugin right here. So anytime the lead track is being played or being heard through the plugin, it's going to subtract those frequencies from your instrumental, which is basically making a pocket for your lead vocals to live in without you having to, you know, do that manually. So it just makes your vocals automatically just sit in your track. So watch this. Best plugin ever. Watch, every time you hear the lead vocals, you're going to see the frequencies cutting out of the instrumental.
If you don't wanna see
see
me
that?
talking to somebody.
All of those frequencies are coming from the lead vocals and just dipping out the instrument, like those same frequencies from the instrumental, so it can create that pocket for it to live in. The last thing I'm going to show you guys is some of the sends that I have going on. So
If you don't wanna see me talking to somebody.
all right, so I have a lot of things going on right here. So first I have a short verb, and I'm using the Little Plate by Sound Toys. And this, oh my gosh, like this little plate sounds so good. So plate verbs are typically what people use when they want their vocals to sound like they're in a certain space. The next thing I have is long verb, and yo, this reverb is so good for if you want like a huge reverb. This is the one. So what I did is blend both of these reverbs to get, you know, this sound. And all of these reverbs pretty much have presets that I like to start with. I always use the pre-delay knob because what it does is allow your vocal to cut through before the reverb is activated. So after that, I have a 1/4 delay. I'm using an Echo Boy by Sound Toys. This Echo is, yo, it's literally like my favorite. H delay is still my favorite, but Echo Boy, ever since I got this, I've been, you know, trying it out. But that's why I like this Echo. You can really change the sound of it so it doesn't just sound so basic. So it has all of these effects in here just to change your delay so it can sound dope. So I love that. And other than that, I have a slap delay as well. I'm using Micro Shift by Sound Toys. I always use slap delays because sometimes I feel like my vocals be sounding, you know, just a little bit basic. So I just add a little slap delay so it can sound a little bit more retro, give it that 80s sound, but still modern at the same time. So with all of these plugins, you get this sound.
If you don't wanna see me talking to somebody. If you wanna believe that anything could stop me.
All right, y'all. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'm actually selling this template, so you can head over to my website, www.desmonddennis.com, and you can download this, my whole entire template. And you know, it will basically just give you a head start to a similar sound to this. Of course, with any template, it's just a starting point, you know, so what you have to do is once you start recording into it, you have to tweak it. That's with anything. Like even myself, I use my custom template every single time I start to record a song, and I have to tweak it, because even if I sing a song in a higher register, the same EQ that I have in my template is not going to match that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm definitely going to be making more mixing tutorials soon. So peace out, y'all.